don't we get going, Amy? I mean, while we wait for Marcus Hines, okay?
Yeah,
so
sure.
what do we
No
what do you introduce our first guest?
Yeah, so on the call, as I mentioned, we're going to have 3 real estate professionals who are in the trenches doing this day-to-day program, just like the majority of the people who are on our call today. They've been in various states of the Craig Proctor program, some a little longer than others. And our first guest that we're going to have, well, I guess it's not the first, we're putting them both in the same call, so I apologize, but is Marcus Hines. Marcus is with Marcus Hines Realty Group. And then our second team that we have is Dan Alon and Susan Klein. And they're the Dan and Sue team. So they're going to be giving us some success stories, how they're using toll-free hotlines in their marketing efforts now. They're going to give us a little bit of what's working for them and the different things that they've tried using the toll-free. So let's go ahead. We're going to move forward, and we'll start with you, Dan and Sue.
Hi. So how you guys doing?
Doing well.
Great. And you guys are from California?
Yes.
That's correct.
Southern California.
Beautiful. So why don't we start off, Dan and Sue, why don't you give us a brief background about yourself and kind of how you got started with Craig's system, using hotlines, and then we'll get into the next question.
Okay, well, I've been in real estate for 7 years. I think Sue's been for like 11. And we have been working on and off for about 4 years together, but we became a team, I'd say, about 1.5 years ago officially. We have background doing a lot of cold calling, a lot of door knocking. We did some other programs. And we were using another 800 number that didn't have the capability of this one. In October of last year, we joined the Craig Proctor system and program, over at the Super Conference in Anaheim. And I think I mentioned that to you, Mike, is, I didn't think much. I figured everybody's going to push us on, hotlines, this and that. Everything gets expensive. But I'm glad we stuck around for the last day of the presentation where somebody, I think Rick might have presented, I think, the benefits of the hotline and the tools and features, and I was looking at Sue and I was blown away, and I said, we got to get this. And we've been using that. We could use it a little bit more. For us, the property tree's been the most successful thing. And our first deal, as a result of the hotline, I think came within a week or two after the conference. Somebody called the 800 on the sign call, and we sold them a house in Valencia, reeled them in, got them on the contract, sold a property, by having somebody just call that. So that's where we're at with that. I don't know if you need me to give some more information.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, so obviously you're using the property tree line to market your properties on SignWriter. Is there any other areas that you're placing your hotline number on?
Yeah,
can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, for us, we embraced the guaranteed sales program, and that was a jackpot for us as soon as we embraced it, coming off the seminar. So postcards, flyers, emails, we send the gold letters, and now consistently we put the 800 number information on that. We've even put them on Craigslist and periodically get calls on those as well. The ones I really like is when somebody presses 0 and wants to talk to us directly, and that's been a real wonderful thing. But yeah, I mean, for us, it's been the postcards, the guaranteed sales program, it's been the flyers on properties, primarily, periodically some online ads. So we occasionally get some calls on those, even though I know that people prefer the to click a website or domain name, but we periodically do get calls. We give them the option of both.
Most of the calls have been coming in from the postcards and the flyers.
Yeah.
That we put out on our listings.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great, and you know that because of all the tracking and the reporting that's within the hotline system.
Yeah, it's so easy. Yeah,
that's great. And just one question about your properties that you advertise on your UFP. Do you actually put in what the price is or features of the property?
Never. No, the only thing we put, and I've explained it to the sellers when we meet with them as well. It's like we're not going to put the bedrooms and bath. We're not going to put the price. And even when they listen to a recorded message, they're not going to get the price. And most times, they're not going to get the bedrooms and bath.
It's usually just the address and a picture of the front of the house.
and just for free 24-hour record information, call, and we give them the number, the ID number, and then in the body of the flyer itself, we just put some generic features, if you want to call it, benefits, and then again for free 24-hour record information, call, and the 800 number with the ID codes. And I can tell you what's not working based on the fact that I can track it. I can tell you which publications are not doing it for me, so that's a good thing. That's a benefit there. I've been able to take the same type of ads and know which publications or which ads are working or not working. For example, for us in our area, Backpage and eBay are not doing anything.
And that's the whole purpose of marketing, where you can track and measure every ad, every bit of money that you put into it, so you could turn the things off that aren't working and turn up the jackpots.
Right.
So that's really good. Amy, has Marcus joined us?
I believe so. Yeah, Marcus, are you here?
Yes. Can you hear me?
We can. So how are you doing, Marcus?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Great. Marcus, why don't you give us a bit of a background about yourself and how you got started with Craig Proctor's system and using our hotline technology?
Well, so been in business since '99, and then California took a hit. So 2008, sitting in April, was either switch gears or find something in real estate that worked. And so I went to that conference in San Diego, April 2008. Started up with Craig and went around with the credit card and bought everything there in the hallway, which I wouldn't do again. I would just do a couple things at a time. And some of the basics is being able to put at least the hotline number out there, and so to put an option to be able to email you through a domain or website if somebody prefers to use the website. But on every advertisement that I put out there, to have the option of a client to call you directly is it's imperative. You've got to have the option for them to call you directly. And what I had found was that a big thing that hit the hot buttons at the conference was joining up with Craig was to create making money in real estate again, but to create a lifestyle around it that's not about working 70, 80 hours a week. And so that's what kept me attracted to it. So what I really liked with you guys' hotline was that it allowed me to put an option for someone to call me. I track their number, because even if they hang up and they don't like my voice, I still get to track their phone number. Mm-hmm. But the big thing is I get to call them when I'm ready to make calls. And so it tracked their number, it tracked where they came in for their advertisement, and it didn't just ring to my cell phone. So I'm not able to just advertise my cell phone anymore. So that gives me the peace of mind to make calls. And so that was back in 2008. So now in the morning I call distressed sellers from 9 to 11. So I just finished up a call when I got on this one. And in the evening from 6 to 8 I call buyers. And my phone, I'm on the call, and I actually got one call to my cell phone after making 2.5 hours of straight calls. So I wasn't diluted with nonsense coming in. Rather, all my calls are coming in via email from them coming into the hotline. So it gives me the lifestyle to have a disciplined schedule, just to make money on my schedule and have a little free time when I want to.
Yeah, so it really isn't all about the money. I mean, money is great, but time is the most important thing, being with your family and not working the 40, 50 hours a week on your business. Really, you don't have a business that, if you're working, all that time chasing prospects where it's coming to you and it's sift and sort and pre-qualifying your leads, which is really good. That's great. Why don't we let's talk about the campaigns, the type of campaigns that Craig offers. There's a whole lot of preloaded campaigns, both on the property tree and the information unbranded hotline. Maybe, Dan, why don't we get you back on with Sue, and why don't you talk about a little bit of some of the campaigns that are helping you grow your business and what's working best for you in your area?
Well, the one that's been working quite a bit lately is the swimming pool homes. So that's been getting quite a bit of activity. Let Dan
Yeah, the low down, this 1% program here that, you can actually buy a home. Generally, these homes at 250,000 or less that you can buy, and primarily in the Palmdale, Lancaster area, these homes are under 100 grand, 150 grand. So it makes it easy for first-time buyers. Guaranteed sales program has been really a big thing for us with expires or home sellers, and we work that pretty heavy. And so that's been a real big thing for us in terms of all our marketing and everything that we do. We're going to try. I know it's worked online, but we're going to try a campaign with fixer-uppers, see how that's going to work. But yeah, the swimming pools. We've been trying some zero down because, again, you can qualify people with zero down here in California. Even if you're not a vet, you can buy a zero down property if it's a rural area. It's a USDA program. So again, it brings more affordability, and we're going to go after some first-time buyers now in the next several weeks. But yeah, some of these programs have helped. It's just it helps sifting through. It's awesome. We had a campaign earlier that we recorded, and I'm going to go with the one that Amy has for us now as the short sale one. That's helping a little more, get people to pick up the phone where they don't have to talk to us necessarily. Especially here in California, where our market in Valencia here is 56% short sale, and 35% of all homeowners don't have equity. So for us, it's been something that we're working a little harder now on.
And just to add, all these campaigns that we're talking about are all preloaded and available for you to use and target. And you can decide and choose which one would work for you in your marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
We have I believe nine unique selling propositions on the property line, and over 50, I believe, in the information line of editorial sell ads and service classified ads as well. So that's great. Marcus, you want to share some of your killer marketing campaigns that you've been successful using?
So, I think what you guys hit on was that you can also record custom messages. So I use the hotlines for all kinds of creative stuff. For instance, I pre-record got a lot of short sales in Northern California too. So I pre-record my offer instructions because they're a little bit tricky. I'm very strict on who I go into contract with. And so I pre-record my offer instructions on how to write an offer on my property. I say it once very clear, and on every one of my properties it's advertised where they can actually call in the hotline, press the 4-digit code to listen to the offer instructions, and it's me explaining it to them every time they want to call in. And this thing gets hit 20, 25 times a week that me or my assistants don't have to explain this. Now it just does it for us. So
now, Marcus, you mentioned a 4-digit code or ID. Do you have a system on how to track your callers or your campaign so you know who's calling in and who's not?
So every message that you pre-record, you can put a 4-digit code with it. You make up the 4-digit code on your guys' hotline system. Maybe it's not the hotline. Is it the property tree?
Property tree, sorry, yeah.
Property tree. So I keep the hotline for advertising on all the various sites, Craigslist, truly different places where I want people to be able to call in and listen to a pre-recorded message. I have a hotline. That's that second line you guys have, in which that allows you to customize any messages that you have for your own marketplace or for your own messages that you want to put out there. And so I use that for special financing, offer instructions. I also created something that's similar to the Talking House sign that Craig was advertising to the company Who Talking House. You can call it Talking Home, call it Home That Talks, call it what you want, but it's a separate sign that sits out front of every home for sale, and it's information about the home. So it's a 24-hour information hotline, and I pre-record a message about the home and leave a 4-digit code for them to listen to it on that particular home using the property tree line. And I put that out in front of every home. And I tell you, there's all kinds of creative stuff in my listing presentation. The aggressive, we'll write an offer on, we'll buy someone else's home cash if you buy one of our listings and all that. But that free information hotline, the 24-hour information like storefront, real estate storefront, giving information to all the nosy neighbors and the tire kickers, That one really accelerates. I just took a listing yesterday evening, and they talked about it for about 5 minutes. Like, oh, that's great. So all the neighbors who would call us all nosy or stop by and ask questions, they can just call this number, and you'll leave a message about our home on that. And it really resonates with the sellers.
That's cool. I was talking to Dan earlier, just before we got on the call, about hang-ups. Do you, you know, obviously there's going to be hang-ups, and because you're trying to sift and sort the tire kickers from and pre-qualify your leads. Do you call hang-ups?
Oh yeah. So if you get a call to your cell phone or it's an internet lead and it calls and they hang up and you never saw it, you'll never have called those people. Your guys' hotline, you can set it up to only record messages, or you can have it set up where it also tracks someone's hang-up. So if they just call the number for just even a half a second and they hang up, that it tracks that and it sends you over the message with their phone number. There's just no message attached. So when they hang up, yes, I do call them back, and I've had really good success with that, because here's my theory and here's what I found. The people who have hung up on me are typically the people who aren't quite ready to talk to a realtor. They're a little bit nervous. They're a little bit new, just starting out. And if they're hanging up on me, they're most likely hanging up on everybody else. So by me having the ability to call them back from your guys' tracking system from the phone number, I'm able to call them back. And a lot of those people, as long as you come off very non-threatening, no obligation, just like Craig's script teaches us, you open them up to talking, you catch some of those people before they even get started with anybody else. So yes, I do call hang-ups, and I'm having good success with those.
So you're able to get those numbers from the hang-ups. We have a feature called reverse directory lookup, which basically matches anyone that calls in from the white pages. So we would provide the name and address and the phone number that they called in from. So that's how you're able to track this information on a daily basis, on a minute-by-minute basis. So, hey, Rick, we forgot about you. How you doing? Rick Brash.
Hey, I'm doing good. I love hearing these comments about the hotline, which, of course, was always my favorite lead generation tool. And I love some of the stuff that these guys are doing, because it shows innovation. It shows the fact that we understand the key reasoning in our business model for having a hotline. It's not to disseminate information about the property, even though the prospect thinks that when they catch up on our ad. The purpose of the hotline, the purpose of the tool, is to simply nurture a request for more information, whatever that is. And as we heard Marcus talk about today, he's got all these innovative ideas that simply create a request from a prospect for more information. That's why we bring this tool into our business model. The other thing I like hearing about is the marketing that the guys are doing. Remember, we can't Google and find somebody's hotline. This is really important. If we don't have good, well-accepted, well-read marketing in the right medium in front of the right people, we will diminish the calls to our hotline. So what we're hearing from Marcus and Dan today is their marketing is successful. It's out there where prospects are. They're bumping into it. There's a compelling reason in the marketing to pick up the phone, call the hotline number, kick in the 4-digit ID code, and listen to the script. And as Marcus just alluded to, Mike, he's figured out how to create a strong, compelling call to action in his script so that he's getting all kinds of people asking for more information. So this is really cool. I remember when I first discovered the hotline years ago, I could not believe the load it took off of my shoulders, because all of a sudden I was able to take my office number and my cell phone number out of all the marketing that I used to do. Nobody called me in my office. Nobody called my cell phone. Nobody bothered or upset my schedule during the day, because this tool, this hotline that we've perfected over the years, took the calls. It replicated exactly what I would have said had I taken the call, and it created that lead in waiting that I could call back at my leisure. And I just think that was the greatest bomb. And just like you said, Marcus, when I started to really put this tool to work, it enabled me to work less and be more effective and be more efficient, and that's what I think is the greatest thing about tools like the hotline. So for those of you who are listening today who haven't taken advantage of this technology, I mean, just do it. Just try it. Take advantage of the trial. Get started on the hotline, and you'll see how it changes your business.
Well said. And like you said, Rick, you know, once you get going and get started and try a few campaigns and run an ad, you know, because a lot of people get overwhelmed when they come to the conference. You know, just get it going. Do some tests and get some leads brought in. And then, like Marcus is doing, is innovating a little bit. Just tweaking the script and the script, and which I know is a big topic of yours, Rick, about how important.
Oh yeah, I think I've got over 3,000 recorded messages in my library, in my office, and Mike, I couldn't tell you how many scripts we have created over the years. I kept a pile of blank script writing worksheets on my desk that was probably 500 deep, and we were always playing around with new scripts. And every time we came up with a new script, every single time, part of our month-end procedure was to look at how that new script performed when compared with all the other scripts. We were always tracking the results of a new script. That way, once we knew we had it figured out, we could deploy that script across a wider range of properties or a wider range of offers. But until we had it figured out, we had to track it very closely. And the back end, Mike, that comes with the hotline, I don't know how many reports you guys have in there, 8, 9, 10 reports for each different number. Those will tell you exactly how it's performing. We got so good at this that we knew that if a client called in and only listened to half of the script, half of our introduction, we pretty much knew how many houses they would listen to in the ad. If a prospect called in and listened to my entire introduction and clicked on one USP, we knew how long they would stay on the phone. We got so good at it. That's how concise the back end and the tracking is with the hotline. So everybody needs to get in the habit of doing that.
Maybe we can offer some of your scripting to the people on the call today, Rick. That'd
sure,
be $1 million.
We can always share scripts, no problem.
Beautiful. That's cool. Real cool stuff. Sorry?
Something I just thought of was that most likely, I would assume if I have to do it, that 90% of people on this call will probably do a letter, like a newsletter to their entire database or everybody that they know. And then with your hotlines, you can go through and pick 10 things to offer them that are already a pre-recorded message that you can make a newsletter out of, right? Make them an offer and the phone number and press this 4-digit code for certain information, and that could make a newsletter right there. Mail that to everybody that you know and create some business out of that right away.
Yep.
We have done that.
That's neat.
And it does work.
That's good. Well, let's move into the question I have about like where you guys are advertising your toll-free hotline and what is working best for you. You want to start, Dan or Sue? Would you like to?
Well, we just now started, just what Marcus was saying, we have just started adding that to our newsletter that goes out to past clients and to people that we've been trying to stay in front of, getting listings. So we have just, we're sending out, something like that. That's going to be going out just the end of this week. And hopefully it should bring in a lot of business. As one is going for buyers and one is going towards the seller. And
the cool thing about it, you'll be able to place that and determine if it's working or not for you pretty quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, postcards, the guaranteed sales program that, it's been something that's been working for us. And, I call expires also. I know that the same expires that get the stuff from us, I call them and leave a message with the recorded information line. And some of them periodically actually call it, so that's another way, it's going to follow up to see if they got the card, if they need more information. Flyers, we do advertise online. We do a lot of online advertising, and whether it's for a unique selling proposition or even the properties, and we put both website and 800 number, and we periodically get calls on those as well. There's people that call. Flyers on the properties that has the 800 number, and on the back has all sort of unique selling propositions to buyers and sellers, and just kind of stay in front. The other things that we're doing is mass emails that has, or periodically people that are in a database that has something to offer them, and we're offering both the website and the 800 number, and people periodically go through that. They call us. I had somebody on Facebook actually listen to one of the messages. We advertise it there, and when I called him back, he didn't realize that I was going to call him back. But
so you're integrating both on and offline.
Right.
With your marketing, which is real cool, because you really don't want to alienate your prospect how they get information from you.
Right.
You never know whether they prefer to call a number or go on the internet or now go mobile, which is a big big option now. But that's really good. And as far as the actual ad itself, you mentioned a non-threatening way. What exactly are you putting on your ad in regards to the 800 number?
For free 24-hour recorded information, call, and then in parentheses, talk to nobody. You know, and we just do that everywhere. And one of the other things that we started doing on some of the ads, property ads, we put the word trade next to it, and the property and the word trade, and very few people in our marketplace do that. So periodically we get that, or somebody calling, and they think we're literally going to trade their house, but that's not really the way it's designed. And so yeah, we do that with that. But yeah, for everything that we do, we put for free 24-hour recorded information, talk to nobody, and that's where that's at. And we work on that. We keep tweaking that. We go on the ad clinic calls and see what works and doesn't work for other people, and have our ads sometimes tweaked as well. And we're still in the process of learning and learning more.
That's cool. Marcus, do you want to add anything on to where you're advertising the toll-free number?
Yeah, just as another option there. So Craigslist, like you said, and then different print ads is another option to come in. The big thing is that any message that you want to get out there, you can create and record, and you put it out there, and folks can come into that. And then putting the non-threatening language there, like talk to no realtor. 24-hour pre-recorded message. So yeah, just the basic there. Just having that other option, always have a phone number to call. It's not your cell phone, so it's not ringing at 9, 10 o'clock at night. And it's being tracked so that you can make sure to get back to that person. I mean, you make that one call that you would have missed, you can make a $5,000 commission. It pays for any kind of technology easily for the year. It's just that, having that extra option of not missing out on those leads.
Yeah, and that's the key of getting, 2 or 3 times the amount of calls or people calling and leave messages, is having that non-threatening way to give them information, helping their decision of buying or selling or whatever they are doing. Having it mentioned in the ad, it's pre-recorded messages, and it's 24/7, which is pretty good. Rick, do you want to add anything as far as ads and where you place ads in Calgary?
Wherever I had anything to do with me or my team, anything literally, I had an 800 number. So as an example, in all of our listings, we have feature sheets. On the back of all of my feature sheets, even a prospect who was working with their own realtor looking at my properties would take a feature sheet home that night and would have information on the back of the feature sheet that was compelling. And to get more information, all they had to do was call into the hotline. For example, I would put a blurb on the back of my feature sheet about my buyback program. And even if you're working with your own agent, here's an option for you on the property you looked at today. Get more information by calling in. I created all kinds of business just from little things like that. I have a great 800 number and a very compelling message on my business card. So if people are looking for information about Rick Brash from a card that they've picked up somewhere, all they have to do is call the number and listen to a tidy little script that we came up with. So, I mean, wherever marketing runs, wherever something's going on, my suggestion is slam your hotline number in there and give a compelling reason to call. It's just like advertising a URL for a web campaign. Sure, the website name is there. Sure, it's benefit rich. But if you can have in 7 words or less a compelling reason to call that number or to dial into that URL, you'll probably up your calls or up your visits by 10 times. So wherever you're marketing, whatever the marketing is, whatever you're doing, make sure that your hotline is out there. And just like Marcus, I've had a separate sign out beside my for sale sign on all of my listings when I can that highlighted my hotline number for the past dozen years. I've done that for a dozen years, and I've made millions because of that one specific sign. And we've double-ended tons and tons of our properties because people go up and down the street on Sunday afternoon. Just like Craig said, they don't really want to talk to an agent. Here's a listing, here's a sign, here's another sign that says, use your cell phone right now, simply call and get pre-recorded information about this property. And in that script somewhere close to the end, it'll say, if you'd like the most up-to-date price, simply press 0 now to be connected. We've done the everyday open house campaign. We've done all that stuff. We run a just listed sign. As soon as one of my agents would list a property, this great big ugly monster of a sign goes out on the front lawn, and it simply says this property has been listed. It's no longer, it's not on the MLS yet. If you'd like information before it hits the MLS, simply call the hotline. And again, a real compelling script about how to get to this home, how to get in, how to see it before anybody else, because it's not on the MLS yet. All that stuff that we're talking about today, all those little distinctions have created a deluge of leads in all of our businesses. And that's when we hear Marcus use that word versatile when he talks about his hotline, that's what this is all about. This is a very versatile tool that can easily and efficiently create leads, and it's done it for all of us for years and years.
Rick, I like your idea. I mean, it's a simple thing to do, but no one actually does it just on a business card. I mean, I see so many realtors business cards where I look at it. It's all about them, picture of them, the balloon, their number, email address. And on the back, it may be even the white, like nothing, right? Why not use your business card and put your USP, put your whatever, and call action to a toll-free number in a website, you know, whether it's a buyer profile system or guarantee home sale, like use your business card and your unique selling proposition because it doesn't cost you any more to do it. Yep, that's a great idea. So, all right, great. So we may have covered some of this over the questions that we've been sharing, but why don't if the three of you can share with us some of the personal benefits that the hotline's given to you, like three things that using it is giving you personal benefits. Dan, you want to start? Dan,
sure. One of the things I forgot to mention with regards to the way we're marketing it, with buyers or prospective prospects that don't give us real phone numbers on the website, we send them an email that has the same information. For example, if they logged into a distress sale property, but I don't have a real number on them, I send them an email that says, for free list of distress sale properties, 24-hour record information, call this. So I'm trying to capture them, and periodically some people do call. So that's been one of the benefits. For us, the real benefit has been a listing tool. We push it hard with sellers, and we've been able to get listings. In fact, this past week we had sellers in the office that came in and showed them how we're going to market their property. They're going to interview somebody else and sat here finally decided they're not going to do that. Showed them the benefits of the exposure that they're going to get with our marketing and how we're going to expose their home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and so forth. So we use that heavy with sellers. We show them how it works, and it's been very, very good. The guaranteed sales program, it's been a real benefit for us. Tracking is the greatest benefit, and you know where your money's spent, you know which ads are working, who's calling, and I think Marcus already mentioned you don't have to have your cell phone number ring. I don't have my cell phone number ringing on the weekend. I don't have my cell phone number ringing period. I have, if they call my office, they want to press 0, and then I choose to call them when I want to call, when I'm ready to call. But they get the information they wanted. They get ways to get additional information, but I'm not a slave to this anymore 24 hours a day where I have to respond to a prospect. And that's a real benefit. It sifts the motivated from unmotivated to some degree, especially if they go through the loop of leaving a message or pressing 0, to some degree of motivation there. So I hope I covered.
Well, I covered a lot, and it probably saved you a lot of time as well too.
Yeah, I mean, we need to do more. We're constantly, I think Marcus gave us a great idea with, borrowing other people's listings and whatnot than the last super conference, and that's something, it's on our agenda to do, and using the 800 number everywhere. And Sue and I have REO accounts. And one of the things I'm going to start doing is before they actually go on the market is put some of these signs where it says coming soon, like Rick just mentioned, and to find out more information about this property, here it is. So I think we'll start using that. And it's going to be a jackpot because it's not listed yet. So I think for us, that's going to be something that's going to be #1 priority this week to do.
That's great. Amy, I know we at the beginning of the call, we mentioned that we love interaction on these calls and love to get feedback and questions from the lot of people on this call today. Are we getting any questions from the poll?
Questions, yeah, I mean, we definitely have participation. Some of the questions that are coming through, they're being answered, as we're going on forward through the call. So, I mean, it's great. We're covering a lot of areas.
Yeah.
One in particular that's been thrown out here is the gentleman. He's just asking, a lot of the references that our guests are giving refer to the branded tree hotline versus the unbranded information hotline. And they're just wondering, is there a reason why they're marketing one more over the other, or are they using both? I think that may have been covered for some in the beginning, but if we could just touch that again for him.
Rick or Marcus, do you want to handle that question?
So if you're looking for a general buyer and you're looking to bring on more leads into your company, depending on where you're at, if you're just now in the growth stages, you want to hit both. But the unbranded, which is just free report on whatever it is that you're offering in your marketplace, a free homes with a free list of homes with pools or whatever it may be, you're going to get a general buyer, and they don't know 100% that they're actually calling a realtor, so they'll be a little bit more apt to call, so you'll get more leads and more people calling in, and then you'll be sifting and sorting those yourself. When you have a distinct campaign that you're running, and maybe you're saying you'll want them to know that, hey, you're calling a realtor or whatever the case may be, that you'll use more of a branded or a specific message, and they know they're coming in. Does that answer the question?
Yep.
Yeah.
So before we get into any other questions, let's take on. We have another question of the service that we provide called voice broadcast, and maybe I'll get Rick. Rick, why don't you kind of describe how you've used voice broadcast in your market and in your business?
Well, the strength again behind voice broadcasting is the simplicity of it, yet the effectiveness that it creates. So one time we record a message, just one time. We listen to the message in our office, we make sure it sounds right, we perfect it, we record it. Then all we simply have to do, Mike, is give it to you along with the numbers that we want this message to go to. And through some technological wizardry that you guys have created, this message gets played on all the voicemail machines of all the people whose numbers I've given you. That's how voice broadcasting works. It can work in conjunction with absolutely anything you're doing. You can get a list of people from your database. You can buy a list of phone numbers. Whatever you want to do, you can send a message to any group of people whose numbers you have. And I think this is one of the greatest inventions ever. The example Craig uses at the Super Conference, which I've used over the years, is a voice blast message out to all the people in his database who are receiving his Market Watch newsletter this month.
That's good.
The message real simple. Hi, it's Rick Brash. Just wanted to let you know that I've dropped my Market Watch newsletter in the mail this week. On page 2, there's a really great article about the things you need to do to avoid any home inspection woes if you're thinking about selling your house. So make sure you check out that article. I hope you'll read the entire newsletter. If there's anything we can do for you between now and the next couple of months, be sure to call us back. That was the kind of message I would put out. It's great, Mike. It's a great tool. It's simple, it's easy, and it's effective.
So, Rick, it's mainly used for keeping relationships, building, and like you mentioned, you use it to broadcast out to a newsletter. And again, it's not a salesy type of recording. We recommend 30, 40-second message coming from you, just saying sorry I missed you, it's actually, we use it a lot just to remind people to come to webinars, to events, to anything that you may want to do, and it works. It works immediately as well once they've got that message. And the whole goal of voice broadcasting is to try to send the messages when they're not home.
Right.
Get that message.
It's really interesting. We've heard in the news the last little while about this robocall scandal that's been going on in the U.S. about all these politicians who are just slamming out hundreds of thousands of calls into constituents' mailboxes to try and get the vote. And people, some of these newscasters who've been talking about this practice in the U.S. have been going on as if this is something new, just something recently invented for the sake of the politicians. Well, here's a service, Mike, that you've offered your clients for the dozen years that I've been with you, and we've used it successfully. It's nothing new, absolutely nothing new, but here's a group of people who've just discovered a new use for this tool, and it's something that all of us should be doing.
Yeah. And again, it really is used for relationships, and to be able to use it for your clients and your newsletter list as well. Every month has some type of thing you can wish someone, just reaching out and wishing your clients, past clients, a happy Father's Day. staying in touch. It's all about the follow-up. We keep saying money's in the follow-up, and to be able to, within a couple of minutes every time, record a 30-second message and shoot it out to 2, 3, 500 of your list, or 1,000, whatever it is, in a few minutes. To me, that's leverage. Yep.
Dan and I have used it to try to get listings for buyers that are looking in a specific area. Or we've also used it for the listings that we've just taken that will advertise around that neighborhood, letting people know in the neighborhood that we just took this listing. Do they have a friend, a family person that's looking to buy in that area?
That's great. That's great. Marcus, are you using voice broadcasting? If you are, how are you using it?
I'm not. I'm guilty of construction, reconstruction, rebuilding the business. The last year I have lots of intentions of using it. I think it's an awesome way to follow up with a bunch of people. And like Rick's got it dialed in. I know Craig does it. I think Rick was the one that told me about it. I think I heard it about a year ago. You call people that you want to talk to at the times where you pretty much know you won't reach them. So they all get the message, but that way it goes to their voicemail. They heard from you and all kinds of applications. But no, I haven't used it. I do want to initiate that this year.
Yeah, and another good tool as well is that we also offer a recording. So after you launch your broadcast, you can go online and get a report of all the calls that were made out, which ones were successful, which ones weren't, the ones that got a voice message and one that got a wrong number, which is another good way of cleaning up your database. So if you got invalid numbers or operator intercept, it's another way to clean up your database as well through the reports that we offer through voice broadcasting.
I like it.
So Amy,
yes.
We've got, what do we got, about 10 minutes left on the call. Do you want to get another question for the group?
Yeah, sure. A couple of them came on board late, so they may just be a repeat. One of the ones is when doing unbranded advertising and putting in the print for quick pre-recorded message. They're not too sure if that's the best wording to be putting in there because the type of response that they're getting isn't as great as what they hear other people is getting. So I think, Dan, you and Sue put in there, you were saying something a little bit different as well. Can you just bring that up again for those who may have come on board late?
We do two different things, and we track that. We do either for free 24-hour recorded information call. If in parentheses we put talk to nobody. Something we just put for free recorded information call, and we always put 1-800 whatever the number is, the 4-digit ID, and then in parentheses talk to nobody, and that's been pretty good. Especially on signs, they know we're agents or whatever the case is, but they still call, especially if they want the information. We've had neighbors call, and it leads to maybe a home evaluation or something, or somebody that we can add to the database. So it works. Just we take correct stuff and just try to copy it. I think where I got in trouble is trying to change it. But just keep it simple. I mean, that's.
I look at another common question here, Amy, about what database management systems are you using to managing your leads, and do you have anyone in your office that are managing these leads?
Yeah, we use Top Producer.
Okay.
And again, that's one of the benefits we got from going to the seminar, which prior to the seminar we never used it. We had the old-fashioned write everything down.
That's hard.
But basically, Sue's the slave driver here. I'm the call guy, so it's like, okay, you got to get the Top Producer, you got to call, and we already set up a Success website to go right into Top Producer. I'm wondering if you guys have that feature. I don't know if there's a way to do that, but we plug it in. As soon as we talk to somebody, or we go right to Top Producer and plug in. When we call this person, we try to call somebody at least 3 times the first day, and then at least once a day for a week, and then we'll follow up once a week or so after that if we don't get them till we get somebody. But yeah, Top Producer has been a good thing for us.
Yeah, we've got a feature where we could plug the leads automatically into the database, more of a V-card integration. But any questions of that, you can call it, and we can talk to you more about that.
Perfect.
Rick, what do you use for your
Well, we've used Agent Office since 2000. My good friend Jim Casey got me going on that years ago, and it just became a great tool for us. It suited all of our needs, and I know that there are some slicker, fancier, gadgetry-filled, systems out there that people can use. Here's the thing: the best contact management system to use is the one that you'll put on your computer. And that's always the issue. And like Dan said, so many agents simply use the back of the cigarette pack or the back of the napkin. It's not going to serve your business model. So you need to get something in place that reminds you, that tells you, that manages these leads. And most of them do that. I mean, Top Producer, Agent Office, they've been the best two for years. There's competition out there now. Agent Office isn't supported technically anymore. But for crying out loud, you guys, if you're running a business that's dependent on people coming in and being maintained, get yourself a contact management. Outlook won't do it. You need a contact management system. Craig always talks about this. The best one to use is the one that you'll use. So go out and get one today.
Another common question I see here, that people have trouble what to say when meeting customers face-to-face and leads that come from their hotline.
That's easy.
Yeah.
That's easy. I mean, in terms of what? I mean, if I'm calling somebody that basically was a hang-up, I'll call and say, hey, Mike, you called 800 information line. This is Dan with Remax. You called our 800 information line on our listing over on this and that. I'm just following up to see that you got all your questions answered or see if you want a free report. And then I go right into the script. By the way, you're looking to move in the next 3 to 6 months. You currently own it, you rent. One of the things that we're doing, I don't want to take too much of your time, but it's been very effective. We've gone back on days like on a weekend when we've gone through all our new leads and nothing else to do. We call some of the older leads that we got and we'll say, look, hey, you called our 800 information line a little while back requesting some real estate information. I'm just following up to see if you already bought your new home. And if they say no, then I go right to the script, But
so basically, what you're saying is that you get calls from the hotline or the website, get them in, and you basically call them back right away and use the universal callback script that Craig provides in his marketing program, which really will qualify your prospects. You really want to target the ones that are doing something now first, right?
Right, absolutely.
And sift sort all of the tire figures out. So using that callback script, which I know has helped many agents, convert, which is everything, right?
That's the key to the whole thing.
It's a key, yeah. Rick, do you want to add anything to that?
No, Dan's right on schedule. I mean, bottom line is a lead comes in. The minute it hits our system, the thing we want to remember, whether it's generated through a hotline or a web lead, is it's ticking, it's aging. So the MIT study says you get back to it within 10 minutes, you have a huge percentage chance of getting that thing turned into an appointment. You let it age for a day or 2 or 3 or a week, you got your work cut out for you. I'm not saying you can't do it. I mean, some of us have gained great skill with the universal callback script on the phone, and you can create appointments from absolutely anybody who came to you. But the sooner you get to them, the sooner you get back to them to determine timing and motivation, to figure out what they need and present them with a solution, which they can have by simply sitting down with you for 20 minutes, your income is going to go through the roof. And if we can have all the best tools in the world, Mike. We can have the best hotline, which we do have. We can have the best contact management system. We can be the best marketer. But really, it all comes down to our ability at converting leads to appointments. And if there's ever been an Achilles heel of our system, as both of our guys, the guys will tell you today, it's learning that script and making the calls. It's a chore. Some people are still afraid of the phone. And when we hear Dan just quickly go through the script, just articulate it as quickly as he just did, that tells us he's one of the guys that wasn't afraid to make the calls. And if you come on the role play calls with us on Friday mornings or pardon me, on Thursday mornings, Dan's always on there. We're always role playing and learning and trying to get better. I was on that call, every Thursday for over 10 years because I wanted to be, really good at converting leads to the appointment. So we can be the greatest marketers. We can have the best grasp of the tools. We can have all the little things going on in our lives, but if we can't convert to appointments, the sad news is they're not going to convert themselves. We're going to suffer. So put put the
other
practice and
thing,
time into conversion.
if I can just add, the other thing besides just being good at the script, you have to believe in it.
That's
You
right.
have to believe in what you're saying, because if you believe it, you're coming across like you're believing it, and then they believe it.
That's right.
That's right.
Yep, it's true. And it's not hard. It's 6 questions. It's 6 questions and 3 minutes, and boom, it's an appointment.
Right.
It's that easy. It's that easy.
So, Amy, we got a few more minutes. I think we should take a few more questions before we leave for the day. Just before we do that, for anyone on this call that doesn't, I've got a special opportunity for you. Anyone on this call that doesn't have a hotline or wants another hotline, or they're using another vendor and they want to switch, you know, for $49 a month with all the scripts preloaded, all the usage built in, you can still get that by going to automatedmarketing-solutions.com/hotseat-offer. Should be on your screen now. Or you can call our number at 800-458-1899. That's 1-800-458-1899. And there is also an opportunity where if you want to save a little bit of money and kind of prepay for 6 months, we'll do the additional discount to it as well. So we had a number of our people from the conference take advantage of that, and Rick did a great job articulating that deal. So, Amy, why don't you?
Mike,
yes.
It's a no-brainer. We actually pay in advance for the entire year. I don't want to think about that, and I want to know that it works. And so the money that you save is, if anybody that's thinking about that, I would just do it. I would just do it. It's just a no-brainer.
Yeah, you look at the lifetime value of your client, or if you get one client out of it, and the cost that you're paying for the hotline doesn't make sense.
Well, like I told you before, the first week that we come out of the conference, we got a deal, a $350,000 or $345,000 deal right out of that. So that paid for a whole bunch of years of this hotline.
That's right. Good deal. Good return on that. Amy, do you have another question before we wrap up?
I think, again, the majority of them that were coming through have slowly been answered throughout the call, which is great. And I know that one for myself versus everyone who's been participating as a guest on the call is just, are we going to be doing a replay? And I hope to have this up within the next couple of days and send everyone off the link to be able to see the replay. So if you did come on a little bit later, that way you're able to start from the beginning and catch any information that you may have missed.
And Rick, anyone that that takes advantage of the opportunity for the hotline today, is it possible we could get a few of your jackpot scripts?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just let me know what somebody needs, and we'll do our best to help out.
Do you have an email address anywhere they can contact you, or would you like to?
You can email me anytime, rick@qlsystem.com. rick@qlsystem.com.
That's great. Well, Dan, Sue, Marcus, and Rick, thank you very much for spending time on this call today. I know you guys are always busy and working very hard, but I really appreciate you sharing your ideas and helping other fellow members using Hotline, leveraging market technology. And Amy, thank you for coming on and coordinating this call. And great. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day and happy marketing.
You too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.